Welcome to Truth Report. I'm Alex Truth.
And I'm Maya Clarity. Tonight, we pull back the curtain on the corporate forces shaping our world, from the silent scramble for AI dominance to the chilling calculus behind corporate alliances. We'll expose how the relentless pursuit of profit is redrawing geopolitical lines, impacting human rights, and quietly reshaping the future of labor and technology.
We'll uncover a pattern of strategic compromise, where major players, both nations and corporations, are making calculated decisions that could have profound, often unseen, consequences for us all. The lines between innovation, national interest, and ethical responsibility are blurring, and the truth is often buried beneath headlines of progress.
Tonight, we delve into 4 critical stories that, when connected, reveal a tapestry of global power shifts. We'll look at India's bold vision for AI, China's alarming scale in robotics, Ford's controversial plea regarding Chinese EV technology, and the stark human cost of what one publication calls Western appeasement.
This isn't just about technology or trade, it's about control, values, and the price we all pay when principles are traded for profit. Join us as we connect the dots and reveal the deeper implications of a world increasingly driven by corporate ambition. Our first stop takes us to India, where a significant AI summit is underway, aiming to fundamentally reframe the global conversation around artificial intelligence. According to the South China Morning Post, the India AI Impact Summit seeks to shift focus from the race to build ever more powerful models to the challenge of deploying them at scale.
This is a critical distinction, Alex. While Silicon Valley giants and Western nations often prioritize cutting-edge model development and proprietary advantages, India, along with other emerging and middle-ranking economies, is advocating for AI to be treated as public infrastructure. The goal, they say, is to integrate AI into public services, not just private profit.
It sounds noble on the surface, Maya. But behind the rhetoric of public good, we have to ask, what are the deeper strategic plays at work? India is positioning itself as a leader in AI governance for the global south, potentially creating a counter-narrative to the tech hegemonies of the West and China. This isn't just about ethics, it's about geopolitical influence and setting standards.
Precisely. While the idea of AI as public infrastructure could democratize access and benefit underserved populations, it also offers nations like India a pathway to deploy AI solutions rapidly across their vast populations without relying solely on Western tech giants. This builds internal capacity and reduces dependency.
Who truly benefits here? On one hand, citizens in developing nations could gain access to vital services enhanced by AI, from healthcare to education, theoretically closing the digital divide. This could be genuinely transformative if implemented with transparency and accountability.
However, the risk remains. When governments control public infrastructure AI, the potential for surveillance, data misuse, and algorithmic bias becomes immense. Without robust independent oversight, this model could centralize power and control over information, rather than truly empowering the public. It's a double-edged sword.
And the corporate angle here is crucial. While Western tech companies might prefer a market-driven approach, this public infrastructure model could see new partnerships emerge, potentially with state-backed enterprises or local tech firms, disrupting traditional market access for global players. It's a battle for the soul of AI and its economic future.
It's a fascinating pivot. India is effectively challenging the existing paradigm where AI development is primarily driven by a few powerful corporations focused on commercial gain. By pushing for a public good framework, they're not just offering an alternative, but also carving out a significant space for themselves in the global AI discourse. It's a strategic move wrapped in altruism.
The question then becomes, can this vision truly succeed in preventing the commodification of AI, or will it simply create new avenues for corporate influence, albeit under a different guise? The history of public-private partnerships often reveals a tilt towards corporate interests once the infrastructure is established. We must remain vigilant.
From India's vision for AI, we turn our attention to China, where a different kind of technological scale is rapidly unfolding, one with immediate and tangible implications for industries and labor worldwide. According to the South China Morning Post, Chinese firm Unitree Robotics plans to ship an astonishing 20,000 humanoid robots in 2026 alone, a sharp increase from 5,500 in 2025.
This isn't just incremental growth, it's a massive, almost exponential leap in production. Unitree CEO Wang Xingxing believes global humanoid robot shipments could reach tens of thousands this year, with Unitree aiming for the lion's share. Their recent appearance at the Spring Festival Gala, showcasing robots performing kung fu and somersaults, highlighted their advanced capabilities and readiness for mass deployment.
The sheer scale of this projection is alarming. We're not talking about niche industrial robots anymore, we're talking about humanoid machines poised to enter diverse environments. The ability to produce 20,000 such complex machines in a year speaks volumes about China's manufacturing prowess and its strategic commitment to dominating the robotics sector.
What are the immediate implications for the global workforce? If Unitree and other Chinese firms can mass-produce humanoid robots at this scale and presumably, at a competitive cost, it heralds a profound shift in labor economics. Jobs in manufacturing, logistics, even service industries, could face unprecedented automation pressure. This isn't a distant future, it's next year.
Who stands to benefit most from this? Clearly, Unitree Robotics and its investors, along with industries seeking to drastically cut labor costs and increase efficiency. China gains a significant strategic advantage in a critical future industry, further cementing its role as a global technology powerhouse. The Made in China 2025 plan is visibly coming to fruition here.
But who loses? Millions of human workers worldwide, particularly in sectors susceptible to automation. The social cost of mass job displacement, if not managed proactively with robust social safety nets and retraining programs, could be catastrophic. Governments and corporations are largely unprepared for this scale of disruption.
Beyond labor, there are critical ethical and security concerns. Humanoid robots capable of complex physical tasks, especially those deployed at such scale, raise questions about their potential for surveillance, control, and even autonomous decision-making in sensitive environments. The line between helper and potential threat becomes increasingly blurred.
It underscores a broader pattern: China's state-backed industrial policy driving rapid technological advancement, often with less public debate or ethical scrutiny than in Western nations. While the West debates AI ethics, China is deploying thousands of advanced robots, effectively setting the pace and the terms of engagement for the rest of the world.
This is a stark contrast to the India AI Summit's focus on public infrastructure. Here, we see a company, albeit likely with state support, aggressively pursuing market dominance through sheer volume. The question isn't if humanoid robots will be widespread, but when, and who will control their proliferation and application. The speed is breathtaking, and frankly, quite unnerving.
Our third story brings us to an astonishing turn of events in the competitive world of electric vehicles, featuring a major American automaker making an unexpected plea. Electrek reports that Ford CEO, Jim Farley, has reportedly spoken with the Trump administration about a watershed moment, partnering with Chinese EV makers in the U.S.
This is a significant development, Alex, and one that flies directly in the face of recent U.S. policy. Just weeks ago, the Biden administration imposed steep tariffs on Chinese EVs, citing national security concerns and unfair trade practices. Now, one of America's automotive titans is actively seeking to integrate Chinese technology right here on American soil.
The question immediately arises: why? Why would Ford, a symbol of American manufacturing, risk political backlash and potential national security scrutiny to collaborate with Chinese rivals? The answer, as it so often is in corporate news, likely comes down to cold, hard economics and technological necessity. Ford is struggling to compete.
Indeed. Chinese EV manufacturers, particularly companies like BYD, have made incredible strides in battery technology, production efficiency, and cost reduction. Ford, like many legacy automakers, is playing catch-up, and it appears they believe direct collaboration with Chinese tech is the fastest, perhaps only, way to remain competitive in the rapidly evolving EV market.
So, who benefits here? Ford shareholders, potentially, if this partnership allows the company to produce cheaper, more advanced EVs and regain market share. American consumers might also benefit from more affordable electric vehicle options, broadening access to sustainable transportation. It's a calculated business decision.
But the potential losses are far more profound. This move could severely undermine the U.S. government's efforts to foster a domestic EV supply chain and protect American jobs. If Ford imports core Chinese EV technology or partners extensively, it further deepens U.S. reliance on China for critical components and intellectual property, creating significant national security vulnerabilities.
This isn't just about car parts, it's about data, software, and advanced manufacturing processes. Allowing Chinese EV tech into the U.S., especially given the current geopolitical climate, raises serious questions about data security, potential espionage, and the long-term health of American innovation. It's a strategic concession for short-term corporate gain.
It's a stark illustration of how corporate profit motives can directly contradict national policy objectives. The pressure from shareholders and the relentless pace of global competition are forcing companies like Ford to make decisions that prioritize their bottom line over broader national interests, even when those interests involve security and economic independence.
And the fact that they're approaching the Trump administration is also telling. It suggests Ford sees a potential path to circumvent current protectionist measures, perhaps betting on a future administration more amenable to such partnerships or seeking to leverage political influence for economic advantage. It's a cynical, yet pragmatic, power play.
This watershed moment is less about innovation and more about desperation. It highlights the uncomfortable truth that American industry, despite massive investment, is still lagging in key areas of EV production, forcing them into alliances that carry significant national and geopolitical risks. The cost of competition is proving higher than anticipated. Our final story brings us face to face with the human consequences of these geopolitical and corporate calculations. The Diplomat pulls no punches, arguing that Jimmy Lai and countless others in China are paying the price for a West too eager to compromise principles for profit.
This is a direct and damning indictment, Maya. Jimmy Lai, the prominent pro-democracy media mogul, was recently sentenced under Hong Kong's draconian national security law. His case isn't just an isolated incident, it's a symbol of Beijing's systematic crackdown on dissent and autonomy, and the Diplomat links it explicitly to Western complicity.
The article argues that for years, Western governments and corporations have prioritized access to China's vast market and cheap manufacturing over fundamental human rights and democratic values. This appeasement, driven by the relentless pursuit of profit, has emboldened Beijing to intensify its authoritarian actions, knowing there would be little meaningful pushback.
So, who benefits from this appeasement? Certainly, the Chinese Communist Party, which gains geopolitical legitimacy and economic power without having to answer for its human rights record. And Western corporations that profit immensely from access to the Chinese market, from Apple to Nike, Ford, and countless others across every sector.
Who loses? Individuals like Jimmy Lai, who bravely stood up for freedom and paid an unimaginable price. The people of Hong Kong, whose promised autonomy and freedoms have been systematically eroded. And, arguably, the West itself, which compromises its moral authority and long-term security by prioritizing short-term financial gains over its stated principles.
This isn't merely an abstract ethical debate, it has tangible, real-world consequences. The corporate desire for growth and market access directly contributes to creating an environment where human rights abuses are not just overlooked, but implicitly condoned. It's a transaction where freedom is the currency.
Consider the cumulative effect. The West's muted response to Beijing's actions in Hong Kong, Xinjiang, and elsewhere sends a clear message: economic opportunity trumps human dignity. This creates a dangerous precedent globally, indicating that strong economic ties can shield regimes from accountability for their internal policies.
The connection to our earlier stories is stark. Ford's desire for Chinese EV tech, or Unitree's rapid robotics deployment, all occur within this broader context of the West's economic entanglement with China. It's an economic embrace that comes with a very real, and often very high, moral cost.
The Diplomat's analysis forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth: many Western corporations are not just bystanders in China's human rights abuses, but active enablers. Their silence and continued investment provide the economic oxygen that fuels the very system that suppresses dissent. It's a moral failing driven by the bottom line.
The high cost of appeasement is being paid not by the executives in corporate boardrooms, but by political prisoners, activists, and ordinary citizens living under increasingly repressive regimes. It's a chilling reminder that corporate decisions have profound geopolitical and humanitarian impacts. Maya, when we connect these four stories, a disturbing pattern emerges: a global landscape where corporate ambition and the pursuit of profit are consistently reshaping geopolitical alignments and, often, undermining core ethical principles.
Absolutely, Alex. We see India attempting to forge an alternative path for AI development, framing it as public infrastructure to empower emerging economies. This is a direct challenge to the Western corporate model of proprietary AI dominance. It's a strategic play for influence, dressed in the language of public good.
Yet, simultaneously, we observe China's relentless push for technological supremacy through sheer scale, as evidenced by Unitree Robotics' mass production of humanoid robots. This isn't just about innovation, it's an industrial strategy with clear implications for global labor markets and the potential for increased surveillance, driven by state-backed ambition.
And then there's the West's complex response. On one hand, the US government attempts to curb Chinese influence with tariffs and protectionist policies. On the other, we see American corporate giants like Ford actively seeking to integrate Chinese EV technology, prioritizing competitive advantage and shareholder value over national security concerns or domestic industrial policy.
This corporate pivot by Ford highlights the deep chasm between national strategic interests and the relentless drive for profit. It's a testament to the power of the global market, where corporations will cross geopolitical lines and compromise national policy if it means a better bottom line.
And the ultimate, most tragic consequence of this relentless pursuit of profit is laid bare in the case of Jimmy Lai. The Diplomat's searing analysis reveals how Western corporations' eagerness to appease Beijing for market access has created a permissive environment for human rights abuses, directly impacting individuals fighting for freedom.
What we are witnessing is the profound influence of corporate capital on statecraft. Nations are no longer just competing ideologically or militarily, but through the leveraging of technology, industrial scale, and the sheer economic power of their corporate champions. And often, our shared values are the first casualties.
This is the truth beneath the headlines, a world where the future of AI, robotics, transportation, and even human rights is being silently shaped by corporate decisions, often made in boardrooms far removed from public scrutiny, yet with global repercussions. We must demand transparency and accountability.
We must ask who truly benefits from these strategic compromises, and who pays the ultimate price. Because as these stories show, the costs are real, they are profound, and they are borne by societies and individuals, not just balance sheets.
The time has come to challenge the narrative that corporate growth automatically equates to societal progress. We need to critically examine the ethical frameworks, or lack thereof, guiding these powerful entities as they navigate a complex and interconnected world.
The truth is, the corporate world is not just reacting to global events, it is actively shaping them, often with little regard for the broader human cost. It's a sobering reality, but one we must confront. The stories tonight reveal a deeply interconnected web of corporate power, national strategy, and human consequence. From the battle for AI's soul to the mass production of robots, from strategic corporate alliances with rivals to the chilling price of appeasement, the decisions made in boardrooms resonate across the globe.
It's a stark reminder that the pursuit of profit, unchecked by ethical considerations or genuine accountability, can erode principles, undermine national security, and silence the voices of the oppressed. We must be vigilant in questioning who truly benefits from these shifts, and what sacrifices are being made in the name of progress and prosperity.
We urge you to look beyond the headlines, to demand transparency from the corporations and governments that wield such immense power. Your awareness, your questions, and your engagement are the most powerful tools we have against the shadows of unchecked corporate influence.
For Truth Report, I'm Maya Clarity.
And I'm Alex Truth. We'll see you next time, with more truths revealed.